Hello everyone. This video is to talk about Bell 206 RC helicopters. There's a few of them out there, and these are all the micro helicopters by RCERA and the mysterious Z1. What I'm going to do is show a little comparison between the three of the RCERA helicopters and also do a minor comparison to the Z1. First off, I've done a video on this one. This was my first one that I bought. It's the RCERA version. It doesn't have an optical flow. These helicopters all come with a battery that's 7.4 volts, and it's a lithium-ion battery at 350 milliamp hour. They also come with spare blades, some tools, which is including a spare prop and a little screwdriver, Phillips head, and a Allen wrench, plus a charging wire, and of course the manual. I think we've gone through the manual for these before, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's very similar to the rest of the RCERA manuals. It has it gives you the details of the helicopter here. You know, flight time about 12 minutes. We'll have to check that, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty close, because that's what I've been experiencing with my other helicopters. The radio itself that comes with this helicopter is this one. Now, as I've said before, all these radios are compatible. I like to just pick one and use it for all of my RCERA helicopters. So this is the one I got for the C-123. The difference is that the landing button is here, the takeoff is here, and the stop button is here. On the one that comes with the C-138, the landing and takeoff is up here, and if you hold this long enough, it'll stop. It'll act as the stop button. It still has the 3 position switch for the rates. I normally always put it on the third switch to get the most throw from the pitch, pitch on the blades, and that's all. Turns on. It's the same exact radio. It's got the upgraded. This is the upgraded version, which is different than the stock. The standard version doesn't have the this type of stick. It's got the round, shiny base. Anyhow, enough of that. So this was the first version, the blue one. Now, put the battery in here. The battery basically is fitting in like that, and you have to press it in and make sure these latches are on, because if you remember on the maiden flight, this battery fell out and got disconnected, and the helicopter dropped. Now this is a very sturdy helicopter. Nothing happened to it. You can see the video, but it's better not to crash it. So the only LEDs on this helicopter, it's got a front light and a rear light. And if I compare it to the second one, this is the one that has the optical flow. That other one didn't have optical flow. Optical flow is this sensor here. If I put the battery in here, backwards, you'll see that it also has light here and light in the back. Everything else is the same, except for the fact that the blue one doesn't have an optical flow sensor. This one has an optical flow sensor. Now, the third one that I got, which is, I think, the nicest one, has an optical flow sensor. And also, they've gone ahead and added LEDs on the fins. So you'll see the difference now, which I think is really cool. And there you go. So these are the differences between. So they have, this one has the front LED, the rear LED, and also the fin LEDs. So you got 3 of them here. They all fly about the same as far as the RCERA ones go. Now, the RCERA ones have 3 servos. I'm going to go ahead and bind one and show you guys what I'm saying. We'll go ahead and bind the new one. Just turning them off so we don't have multiple helicopters on. Okay, this is the one I want to bind. So I'll go ahead and use the radio that the C-138 came with. Turn it on. Bind. And there you go, it's bound. So you see, if I put this helicopter in front of me, I'm going to show you that it's got 3 servos, meaning it goes, you could see the pitch, roll left and right, roll right, left, and then you could see elevator, forward, back, forward, back. Hope you can see that. So that's very solid, nice performance on the Cyclics as far as the servos go. Okay, the Z1, which I reviewed previously, also has an optical flow sensor down here. And let's put a battery in. This is not the stock battery. This is another battery I have. I'm just going to use it for now. Okay. So this one, the battery, as you noticed, is a standard battery. It's a plus for Z1. It's not bespoke. This one has 2 servos. If you look inside, you'll see it's got 2 servos. So that means it's not as controllable or responsive as the RCERA version. So if I turn that one on, and the radio on this Z1 is this cheap. It's very cheap, and it's got, anyways, I personally don't like this type of radio for helicopters, but so we're gonna go ahead and, now this one, you'll see the difference. Again, look at the roll. Watch the blades. The roll, very little. It's because it only has 2 servos. Let's try this other way. Forward, very little movement. It's relying a lot more on the pitch of the, see the pitch on this blade as compared to this blade. You could see that this helicopter is more of a fixed pitch helicopter, and it doesn't really rely as much on the servos making the change in pitch. Actually, there is no change in pitch that you could think of on this helicopter. This is a fixed pitch mostly, and there's no collective. On the RCERA version, they've attempted to have some collective, and that is the big difference between these helicopters. You could see that, you can see the pitch movement. You can see it both in roll and in pitch. Meaning elevator, elevator, and roll this way and that way. So if I were to want to buy a Bell 206 micro helicopter, my first choice would be the RCERA version. Now the question is, which one of these would one buy? Well, depends which livery you like. I personally really like this one, and I would pick this one simply because it also has LED lights, and it just looks really cool, the livery. Next, I like this one. This is my other livery that I really like, but this doesn't have LEDs. Of course, you can always add your own LEDs. You can buy the spare parts and add it in there. There's no reason why you couldn't do that. Anyways, they've done a really nice job on these Bell 206 helicopters. Now, one thing I did do on my blue one, I painted this silver. It didn't really look right, white on white. I might do the same thing on this one and paint it. So, and really the price differences aren't that much between, I bought this fixed pitch version a while back. I think it was around, at the time it was $85 US dollars, and it was way too expensive for what it is. Now the price is dropping. I think they see that there's the other version, and I think the other version is far superior. Now, one more thing I wanted to say is these helicopters have brushed motors. Okay, brushed main motor and a gear, brushed direct drive for the tail. They're not brushless, they're brushed. This is also brushed, both main and rear. So in that respect, not much difference. I did realize that on the Z1, it had a pretty good optical flow sensor. I mean, it stayed where it wanted to stay, and it did perform nicely on the optical sensor. But everything else, it was very fidgety. I'll fly it again and you'll see. But anyhow, if you have any questions, please ask me and I will respond. But to me, these are very beautiful micro helicopters representing the Bell 206. Now on to some flying. All right, let's do some flying. All right, so I've bound this already, as you guys saw, and we're gonna start flying here. I'm gonna just do a takeoff on its own. Very smooth. The optical flow sensor on this new version is really nice. They've made a lot of improvements. Even with the stock radio, as you can see, not bad at all. I know a lot of people are changing to Radiomaster TX16, which is great, but I don't see the need, but if you want to, you certainly can. They have come a long way with these helicopters. Very stable. You can tell I have a small space here, and this thing is, I mean, I can land it wherever I want. Like right here, come right on the helicopter pad and just go right there. So let's do another takeoff like this. Let's see how fast it goes. Very quiet. One of the reasons it's quiet is because it's got only 2 blades and it's balanced, so there's not much. I hope it's in the screen. I'm not going to fly it for 12 minutes. I just wanted to show you the flight characteristics. You're going to have to take my word for it that it does fly at least 10 minutes. Making sure your battery is fully charged. So let's go back and land. The police is coming. Police is landing. Yep, here we go. Land and oh, missed it. Let's try again. There. Okay, so let's transition to the Z1. Now I gotta say the Z1 battery isn't fully charged, but let's transition to it. I put a bigger battery in there, but it should be fine. Okay. Same thing, you pull it down. There you go. It's a little bit more wobbly because of the lack of a third servo. See, the aileron is not as responsive. When I go all full right, you don't really see that full right. Full right, you don't see it. Full left, you don't see it. See, full right, full left, full right, full left. You don't see it. You do see a good pitch forward. You see a good pitch forward. But that's, you do need to be able to roll with the helicopter as well. So, oop. I think you can tell that it's not as controllable. I'll go and do the roll with the other one. You can see that. I'm not knocking this, it's just what it is. This is not the same level of a helicopter as here, as this one here. I'll do the same thing with this guy. Let's look at the roll on this one. Here, roll right, roll left. You can see a lot more. On this one also, you see a lot more roll to the left than to the right. But at least you got a lot more control. You'll see what I mean when you fly. Right to the left, right. Land. Much better. Okay. So this one was with the optical flow. Okay. Now let's fly one without the optical flow. This one doesn't have optical flow. And show you the difference. Okay. This is without optical flow. So honestly, optical flow is not really required, in my opinion. See, this one is also same controllability, smoother than the Z1, and the pitch forward smooth. And you could also do the same type of landing without the optical flow. And this is all with a stock. Oh, move up a little bit more. It's all with a stock radio. So what we're going to do here is fly both of these helicopters. I think they're on 2 different frequencies. Yes. So I'm using one radio for this one that has optical flow and another radio for that one that doesn't have optical flow. We're going to take this guy up and let her sit and then fly around it with the other helicopter. Let's try that. Hopefully it's in there. Let it needs an adjustment a little bit. Maybe I should give it a little trim. All right, let's see. So that's steady enough. Let's take this guy up. Woohoo! Wait, this guy's... So two of them are flying right next to each other. One without it and one with it. Don't go under the other guy because it gets pretty difficult. All right, let me land. This is pretty cool. It's doable. Let me land this guy. Okay, that guy's still flying, no touching. I hope it's all in the camera. Let's land. Anyway, that was an experiment. Cool. Okay, so which one should you get? Considering they're all under $100, I think if you can, get all of them. But I know that's not what you're after. I personally like the RCERA versions. These are much nicer. Their molding is much more scale. The paint jobs are nice. The support staff is great at RCERA if you contact them directly. And you know that these guys are going to be around for a while. I have no idea who builds this Z1. I used to think it's Yujang, but they denied it. The only reason I thought it was Yujang is because of the build. Maybe that's something they came up with and then they sold the rights to some other company. I don't know how it works in China. But the radio, oops, oh, it flew off on its own. Let's fly back. Let's fly back. Come on, baby, slide, land. That's another reason why maybe we shouldn't. It got angry at me. I think he heard me, that I'm not liking her. But let's take the battery out so it doesn't happen again. That was a safety moment, guys and gals. Anyhow, see, this is, I just put a tattoo battery in there, 600. So that's the good thing about this helicopter. You can put any kind of battery in it. So if you want to just goof around inside with a Bell 206 helicopter, that you don't need a lot of pitch and roll, this is great. The optical flow works nicely on this helicopter. You're not bound to any kind of a bespoke battery. You can buy whatever battery you want and just put it in here. And this is a much bigger battery. It's a 600 milliamp hour. The stock is smaller than this. It's probably about 300. So that's this one. And I've done a review on this before. The RCERA versions, I honestly don't know if you want to have the optical flow sensor. If you like to have gadgets on your helicopters, go ahead. You can always turn it off. But I don't see the need to spend that extra money either. But if they come with it, go for it. Like this version here, which is my favorite version. It's got the lights, the colors. This thing comes with the optical flow. So don't let that stop you from buying them. They're doing a good job. They've improved on their performance as compared to the earlier versions of the optical flow. So it's all good. Having said that, I hope this video was helpful and would help you buy at least one of these guys.